This is the video for document A of the Stamp Act DBQ. This document is from the Stamp Act Congress. So our target, remember, our question is, what was the Stamp Act justified? And before we start in with document A, I want to review the idea of virtual representation. So we're going to take a look at this. This is from the iCivics reading that you read earlier this year, or this unit. Still this year, I guess. So in Britain, members of Parliament virtually represented all British citizens, not just the ones who lived where they did. The idea was that Parliament's members had the wisdom to know how to make laws that took everyone's interests into account. Sounds great, right? Just imagine someone from a place that knows nothing about your life making all the rules. The problem was that up until now, Parliament hadn't really been virtually representing the colonists. The colonists had been successfully governing themselves. So which of these governments had the true authority and the right to tax? And that is kind of the question at the heart of our DBQ. So we're going to flip over to the actual DBQ packet. So in our packet, we are looking at document A. This is from the Stamp Act Congress, the Declaration of Rights and Grievances. The note says 27 delegates from 9 colonies were sent to New York to declare their unhappiness with the Stamp Act. This gathering was known as the Stamp Act Congress. So it was delegates from 9 of the colonies. So if we look at our notes, there's some vocabulary words that we'll come back to here that you can refer to. And then there's this note. And it says, whose point of view does this document show? So who is this from? Was this New York? Is that one of the colonies, or is that Parliament from England? So yes, it is the colonist viewpoint. So now you're going to be looking for, what are the acceptable ways of taxing free people according to this document? This is the colonist view, so it doesn't mean that they're right, it just means this is what they think. So let's read the first bullet point. Point 1. That it is essential to the freedom of a people and the undoubted right of Englishmen that no taxes be imposed on them, but with their own consent or by their representatives. So this but here means unless they have. So looking over at the vocabulary, imposed means forced. So let's read it again. It's essential to the freedom of a people and the undoubted right of Englishmen that no taxes be imposed or forced on them, except unless they have given their own consent or by their representatives. So there's 2 ways. What are the 2 ways that are okay? And the second point, the colonists do they feel they are or are not represented? Here we go. That the people of these colonies are not represented in the House of Commons in Great Britain. That one's pretty straightforward. The third question then. Just to be clear, you should have been circling the answers so far. I forgot to say circle the answer. But circle the answers so far for all 3. So we're on point 3. The colonists would only be represented if the people were something. And I have quotation marks around here, which means this comes directly from the text. And there's another quote down here. So we're looking for 2 quotes. On point 3. That the only representatives of the people of these colonies are persons chosen by themselves, and that no taxes can be constitutionally imposed on them, but by their own legislatures. I think I need to look at some vocabulary there. Let's see. Constitutional. Constitutionally is the word. Constitutional means allowed by the Constitution or by the system of government. The only representatives of the people of these colonies are persons chosen by themselves, and no taxes can be constitutionally, or following the rules of the government, can be imposed on them. Forced is imposed. Except unless it is by their own legislature. So finding these 2 quotes, colonists would only be represented if the people were blank by themselves. So I'm looking for the word by themselves here. There's by themselves. So what is it that comes before that? That's what word I'll put in the blank there. And then the second one, the only government who can make them pay taxes is their own, by their Oh, yep, I see it there. Point 4. Taxes made by Parliament will be very fair or very difficult. And because there aren't enough British coins in the colonies, the taxes are very easy or difficult to pay. So let's see what they say. That the duties imposed by Parliament will be extremely burdensome and grievous. Okay. Oh, hey, look, right down here it says burdensome is something that is a burden or difficult to manage. And grievous is very severe or serious. So let's see. The duties. Oh, let's see. What was duties? Oh, yeah. That's like the tax on imports. So the duties, the taxes imposed or forced on us by Parliament will be extremely burdensome, difficult, and grievous is severe or serious. And from the scarcity of specie. Wow, what scarcity of specie? Let me look at my notes up here. What does it have? Does it have something about scarcity? Oh, here's scarcity. When there isn't enough of something. And then it says there wasn't enough cash in the colonies for the colonists to use to pay their taxes. Oh, that's what it says. The scarcity of specie. Specie here means money. So, there we go. And from the scarcity of specie, British currency, the payment of them absolutely impracticable. Impracticable is a word that I even had to actually look up to make sure I got it right. Difficult to start using or doing. It's hard to do. Impracticable. It's absolutely impracticable. So what does it mean? On point 4, you're going to circle one word for each sentence. And last point. Let me go back to the notes first. When the colonists make money from trade, all that money goes back where? Because the colonists are forced to buy finished goods from Britain. And so the colonies end up giving a lot of money to whom? Let's see what they say. Remember, this is the colonist viewpoint. It's not necessarily what the king or parliament would say. So here we go. That as the profits of the trade between the colonies and Great Britain ultimately go to Great Britain to pay for the manufactures which the colonies are obliged to buy from them, the colonies contribute very largely to the crown. Once again, I need to look back at some of these vocabulary words. Up here, oblige means to force. Manufactures are finished goods that are ready to be sold. And contribute very largely to the crown. The colonists give a lot of money to the British government. So use those words and look back at the document as needed. Figure out what goes here. All the money goes back to where? And the colonists end up giving a lot of money to whom? According to the colonists in the Stamp Act Congress.